Mac versus PC, that's the topic for today. Just yesterday I posted a question on Facebook. I needed some help with my MacBook. Some of the responses were quite funny, such as traded in for a PC, or I thought Macs never crashed. There were just tons of comments. And it's like that anytime you bring up PC or Mac. There's always going to be that whole debate. The PC people are going to come in and say, oh, Mac sucks, I thought it never crashed, why don't you trade it in, blah, blah, blah. The Mac people are going to come in, of course, and defend it. So what I'm trying to figure out is if this is a religion, because it's the only other thing besides religion that I've ever seen debated and defended so heatedly and so enthusiastically. So you guys know I'm not an Apple snob. In fact, I run PCs. I have a Lenovo touchscreen PC here. I have my MacBook Pro here. On the other side of the room, I have a Dell PC with dual monitors. I also do own an iPad, and I use an Android Droid X smartphone. So I'm just across the board all over the place with all of my devices. But my thinking is this: buy what works to get the job done, whatever the job happens to be. Now, the touchscreen Lenovo PC I was given as a review model, so that I didn't purchase myself. But the PC with dual monitors is necessary for me to do accounting. So I will have QuickBooks open on one monitor and I will have other things open on the other, and it just makes it so much easier to do my accounting. As for the MacBook Pro, I bought that specifically to do mobile video editing. So I got a 13-inch because I wanted it to be very mobile and very easy to tote around, and it is. I love it for that. And MacBooks also come pre-installed with a program called iMovie, which makes video editing a breeze. I am no pro, as I'm sure you've guessed by now, but what little video editing I do that's all right is all iMovie. It's so easy a 5-year-old could do it, I kid you not. Prior to having the MacBook Pro, I did video editing on the PC, and I used several different programs, and that was all fine and good until we went to HD video. And as soon as we went to HD video, I had all kinds of conflicts. My PC would balk, and it was, maxed out. But it was something to do with the bit rate. And I'm not super technical, as you guys know. I'm kind of a technophobe. I figured, you know what, instead of trying to troubleshoot this or buy this program or do this or do that, why not just buy the machine that's made to do that job? And so I bought the MacBook Pro for mobile video editing, and I love it. The Droid X as a smartphone suits me perfectly. Both my children have an iPhone 4S and they like it, and that's totally cool. Of course, I also have an iPad, and to be honest with you, I thought I would use it more. I don't find it quite as functional as I assumed it was going to be, but I bought the original iPad. I even pre-ordered it before they came out, and I still have the original iPad. I've won several. I think I've won 5 or 6 iPads over the last couple years, and I've cashed most of them in, but I got one for my daughter. But what we do on them is watch movies and read books. So between the Netflix app and the Kindle app, that's about all the use that our iPads get. As far as surfing the web or doing social media or anything like that, I use my Droid X simply because it fits in my back pocket. It's just so much more convenient. If I'm out and about or on the go, who wants to tote an iPad? I mean, an iPad does not fit in your back pocket. Thank goodness, because that would be a really big back pocket. But this is just so much more convenient, so my poor iPad has seen very little use. Back to my point, I'm not an Apple snob. I'm not a PC snob either. I'm all about using the device that best gets the job done, period. That's it. But some people really defend their stance hardcore, and I find it amusing. Sometimes I find it annoying. Sometimes I find it rude, depending on how it's said or how it's done. But I'm curious what your take is on that. It's also interesting to note that Apple really used to be kind of an elitist product. It used to be a very elite group of people that used Apple products. And Apple has really gone mainstream in the last couple of years with all their devices, with the iPod, the iPhone, the iPad, and all that kind of stuff. So they're hitting the mainstream market, and they're getting out there, and they're getting into the hands of people that own PCs. That reminds me of a funny story too. When I first got my iPad, it didn't come with any instructions. It really made the assumption that you knew what you were doing. And since they were hitting the mainstream market with this product, I really feel like they should have given us PC folk a little more instruction. Anyway, I did a video about how to turn on the iPad, because while it seems like it should be a very simple thing, when I opened it and I turned it on, the only thing I saw in there was this image of a USB cord and a little symbol, which I knew nothing about. I had no idea what it was. It turns out it was the iTunes symbol, but I didn't have iTunes, wasn't familiar with it. It took me days to figure it out. You actually have to hook the iPad to a computer, have an iTunes account, blah, 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 but there's no instructions that tell you this in the box. So I did a video about it, and you would not believe the number of comments I get from people who were like, thank you so much. I had this thing for weeks and couldn't figure out what to do with it. Anyway, that's beside the point. I'm curious what you think. Mac versus PC. Are you like me? Do you use both? Or are you strictly Apple or strictly PC? And why? I'd be curious to know. Me, I say buy the best machine for the job. When it comes down to it, know what you need to do and buy the device that best does that. I still can't figure out why people get so defensive or so funny about this whole issue. You're either Mac or you're PC, or once you go Mac, you'll never go back, or I've seen people go from PC to Mac and just try to put all of their PC software on a Mac or split the hard drive and run Windows on a Mac. That blows my mind. I mean, why in the world would you do that? Keep your PC, keep it running, let it do all the stuff that it should do, and use your Mac for what you bought it for. That's my opinion, but I would love to hear yours.